wewe ni useless, wewe ni mbeziless, wewe ni columbox ya kutumiwa na kila mtu, na bado naona wewe ni kifagio ya si.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the decision in court is actually the issue. It's not even about discrimination against these people. It's forming an organization. And when you form an organization, NGO, it means you want actually propagate that. So if you do it quietly in your home, who has said there's no discrimination about that? So if you look at this thing, whichever way you look at it, even if you look at it biologically, really, this is something that we should not propagate. People who find themselves there and accept it can do it in the privacy of their homes. And I think that's where it ends. Because in reality, Mr. Speaker, on this universe, in this universe on the earth, all physical things, living and not living, have their own properties, their own forces that determine their existence and the powers that regulate that. Interference by human beings to change that actually leads to destruction. And therefore, all those physical forces, all those factors of nature, if you're a Christian, you will say God. And all religions also accept a greater being, a super being, and they attribute all those forces to that. If you're an atheist, you will say nature. And we all know that if you disobey nature, you actually will be extinct. What is the whole purpose of mating? We can call it sex because we add feelings to it, but it's basically mating. It is for procreation. There is no other purpose for it. So if you promote a mating that actually does not lead to procreation, eventually in the end that is destructive. And I don't see why we should pursue that. And therefore that ruling was actually giving provision for propagating it. Because you cannot say register an organization. The object of any group is to promote what they do. And I think that is where they are. So these laws of nature, these laws of God, are then what human beings, we then incorporate in our morals, in our cultures, and in our religion, and should also be in our laws. That's what we do. And in all cases, you look at our cultures, they reject this. You look at our religions, they reject this. Even our laws, as it is, reject this. The Constitution is clear about marriage, man and woman. Culture is accepted in our Constitution. Our laws are unnatural sex is illegal. So what is the argument? I cannot understand, I'm not a lawyer, the argument of discrimination when people want to propagate something which is not acceptable to all. I think our rights stop where other people's rights also begin. So in this case, I don't see what the discrimination was about. So I don't think there's any discrimination, and the lawyers that actually, the judges that pass this, in my view, I do not agree with them. Really, in life, it is those laws of nature, even when, however educated we are, professions, law, engineering, all these things, what they're studying are the laws of nature by which we live. We cannot defy these laws. Mr. Speaker, just let me just one thing. Have we not even observed the body of a male and the body of a female? They are different. The breasts, as much as we are probably sexualized the breasts, the main thing about it is actually the feeding of the babies. You look at the hips. We all look at ladies when they have big hips. What is it all about? It's a big pelvis that is for easy delivery. So we now want to actually, that is all. God is so smart that what we admire must promote babies.
Give Dr. Nyikal, because of special expertise, 1 more minute.
Well, I think if that is what you want, I can go a little bit. The truth is, Mr. Speaker, if you look at ladies, what we admire most is probably the busts and the hips. And if you look at it, what are the breasts for? For the survival of a baby. Big hips mean a lady has big pelvis and is likely to give birth without problems. So everything in nature, in terms of mating, is about procreation. Leave it at that, Mr. Speaker. I do not agree with the decision of these judges.
The Honorable Mboko Milemba, MP for Mwaya. No, I can't.
In a sentence, what's your message to the G8?
This idea of trying to think for the Africans is a mistake. You should not want to use aid to the Africans in exchange for no thinking for themselves. They should stop thinking and you think for them. That's part of the recipe of failure.
We equally reject attempts to prescribe new rights that are contrary to our values, norms, traditions, and beliefs. We are not gays. Cooperation and respect for each other will advance the cause of human rights worldwide. Confrontation, vilification, and double standards will not. Mr. President, self-determination and independence are intrinsic and fundamental rights that should be enjoyed by all peoples everywhere without distinction. We are deeply concerned by the continued denial of this basic right to the Sahrawi people. We urge the United Nations to expeditiously finalize what must be done to conclude the decolonization of the Western Sahara.
What is your message to Western human rights groups, to President Obama, to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people?
Respect African societies and their values. If you don't agree, you just keep quiet. Let's manage our society the way we see. If we are wrong, we shall find out by ourselves. Just the way we don't interfere with yours.
Do you personally dislike homosexuals?
Of course, they are disgusting. What sort of people are they? How can you go? I never knew what they were doing. That's how I've been told recently that what they do is terrible, disgusting. But I was ready to ignore that if there was proof that that's how he's born, abnormal. But now the proof is not there. What is attracting you in a man to a man? Even now I have not really fully understood it, that you can fail to be attracted to all these beautiful women here and elsewhere, and you are attracted by a man. That's a very serious matter. It means there's something really wrong with you.
Mungu anakupatia akili, unakuwa judge. Unakaa kwa ofisi, uko na bodyguard, uko na gari, na unalipwa na taksi yetu. Alafu unachukua kalamu ya serikali Mungu alikupatia, unatia kidono, unasema sasa homosexual wanaweza register. Shindwe katika jina la Yesu. Hao watu hawana adabu. Yaani watu wamewacha kuogopa Mungu. People no longer afraid of God. Kwani hausoma Bible gani? Ama hizo Bible zinaga Genesis? Kwani hawajawahi ona hapo mahali Sodom na Gomora imeandikwa moto iliwaka ikatoka mbinguni? Moto! Wewe si uingize kidole kwa, hebu tu washe kando uingize kidole usikie. Usichome moto mzima, hapa tu tip of your kidole usikie ile uchungu mtu usikia. Halafu unacheza na Mungu. These people are playing with God. And God hates homosexuality.